Hello, my people, and welcome to Life with Mona. This is actually our last episode this year, 2018. And I think that's a huge one. I think that's a huge one because I don't know how your 2018 has been, but mine has been, eventful, extremely eventful, and extremely transformational, both in good ways. In ways that are obviously good and in ways that look like they're bad, on the onset. I think to wrap us up this year, it is apt that I talk about choices because I'm looking back now on 2018 and the biggest thing in my head is choices, the choices I made. So this year, I think one of the biggest things that have happened in my life is that a lot of my friends who have been really close to me for the past 6 years, this particular year for some reason, were sort of purged from my life. For different situations, different circumstances, they were purged from my life. And a lot of the time, obviously, when that is happening, you don't quite understand why somebody who you've walked with for so long is suddenly not there, or friends who have been there with you for so long are suddenly not there. And a lot of these things, I think, become clearer as your life progresses. But the bottom line is it's always about choice, right? Every single thing we do is about choice. So to explain that better, I think I'm going to use, again, the friendships I had or relationships in general, right? We talk a lot about relationships on Life with Mona, right? So I'm going to use relationships as an example of the choices we make. I like to say that every single time somebody is with you, it's a choice, right? The fact that somebody is sleeping next to you at night is a choice. The fact that they wake up the next morning next to you, that's a choice. And then we all get up and we go to work or we go to our businesses, whatever it is that we're doing during the day, that's a choice. We choose whether we're going to give our employer the best possible day with our best possible effort, or whether we're just going to kind of like sleep through the day. That's a choice. When somebody comes back home to you at the end of the day, that's a choice. Every single movement we make is a choice. And I've found, especially from the lessons I've learned this year, that we're usually very okay when the choices are going in our favor. We're usually very okay when somebody's choosing to be with us. As soon as they stop making that choice, we go, batshit crazy, right? We jump into this thing where we now start living their life, right? We start chasing after them. We start seeing what are they doing. We start jumping through hoops. We are busy trying to be who we think they want us to be. And we're no longer living our lives, we start living their lives. So for me, I like to think of it this way, and T.D. Jakes said it the best way I've ever heard. When someone walks out of your life, let them go. And why did he say this? Because that person is making a choice, right? They chose to be with you, and now they're choosing to walk out of your life. Let them go. And I think one of the reasons he said that is because if we are free and if we are open to the different things that happen in our lives, we won't be caught up in this whirlpool of running after things. Whether it is running after a person that walked out of your life, or running after a friendship that you feel is ending, or running after a career that you think you really want. And by running after, I mean like you're not living from your own point of view. You're living from, I need to do this so that that person thinks this way. I need to do this so that my boss says this. I need to do this so that this career does this. And the problem with that is that you're consistently living from someone else's point of view, from something else's point of view. You're consistently living outside of yourself, as opposed to living from within yourself. This thing has happened. This person has walked away. Here's what I am going to do. Why? Because that person is doing what they're going to do. I lost this job. Here's what I am going to do. Because if I spend time worrying about the job that I lost, then the job is the king, not me. But if I spend time saying, okay, this has happened, what am I going to do about it? My choice. What am I going to do about it? My sister and I have this saying. It comes from cards, poker, right? So we have this saying, I see your 10 and I raise you 20. That's the normal one, right? So we've coined it to, I see your decision and I raise you my acceptance. I see your choice and I raise you my grace. And the powerful thing about this statement is it's about me, right? You have done what you wanted to do. That's fantastic. Go and do it. Now here's what I'm going to do. I raise you my acceptance of what you've done. And here's what I'm going to do. I raise you my grace. And this is where I am going to come from. And I think that is for me, 2018 has forced me to do that consistently, because I found I was jumping into too many rabbit holes and running after too many things that I did not need to be running after, until I just stopped and I said, I am going to make choices in my life, and I'm going to come from my own point of view, not from someone else's point of view. I'm going to come from my strength, not from someone else's strength. So when you look back at 2018, break it down, right, into the things that happened, the things you thought would happen, and the things you wished would happen. And then ask yourself, when this thing happened, what choice did I make? Why did I make this choice? Was this choice based on me? Or was it based on the circumstances? Or was it based on what somebody else was doing? Was I living in my true character when I made this choice? Or was my character sort of smudged by everything else that was going around me? And then think of the outcomes based on your choices. What were the outcomes based on your choices then? And if you look back now, and you were to do that again, now for 2020 vision, if you were to look back and you told yourself, okay, this thing happened, back in February, this is how I reacted. Knowing what I know now and having given myself some space and time, this is how I would have reacted. And if I reacted like this would have been the outcome. Think of those two things. The way the things turned out based on your reactions then versus what you'd have done differently now, looking back. And after you've weighed those two, here is the thing that is ironic. Whatever decision you made in February, make it okay. It is okay that you got upset. It is okay that you walked away. It is okay that you did something that you're not very happy about. It is okay. And why is it okay? Because when you made that choice, you made the choice based on the information you had and to the best of your ability at the time you made it. So make that choice okay. You have to remove the shame. You have to remove the regret. You have to remove the compulsion to go back and turn things around. You can't. It's happened. It's happened. So I find like that is a very strong point to come from when we're trying to transform and to change our lives. So my sister and I have this thing we do. It's called the fire ceremony. And it's not unique. I mean, it's something that is done all around the world. I think it's actually something from the Eastern religions. It's called the fire ceremony. Now, the fire ceremony is about burning the things that were in the past so that you can allow the things of the future and the things of now to come into your life. So 2018, and this is how we do it. I sit down and I write everything, all the hallmarks of 2018. It could be 3, it could be 10, it could be 20, whatever it was, all the hallmarks of 2018. Take a piece of paper and write it down. Write them down. Write them all down. And then give yourself a little bit more time and write down how things went, whether they were good or bad, especially the ones that you wish you could change. Write down how things went, and then write down how you wish they would have gone, right? And then just sit with that for a minute. And then get a pot, a metallic pot. Or if you have a grill or a jiko that's outdoors, that's even better. Get a metallic pot. Make sure you watch out for all fire safety. We don't want anything going wrong. So fire safety, right? No curtains hanging over your kitchen sink or anything like that. Get a pot if you can be outside. And tear up all these pieces of paper and put them in the pot. And then light the fire. And the symbolic thing is this. You're letting go. All those things that happened, you're letting go. The things that you celebrated and the things that you did not celebrate, let them go. Because those are things that are part of your past. They're not a part of who you are right now, today. So you let them go. And after you've done that, take out a fresh piece of paper and write down all the things that you want to accomplish. I'm not talking about New Year resolutions. Those mean very little because New Year's resolutions are about doing. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And that means nothing if you've not changed from inside. So the most powerful way to transform yourself is to change from the inside. So write down all the things you want to be. Focus on being, not doing. I want to be this. I want to be this. I want to be this kind of person. I want to be here in my career. I want to be this in my body. I want to be this in my mind. Focus on being. Who are you going to be? And write that down. And when you write that down, celebrate it and sit quietly with it and internalize it. Another thing my sister and I do is what we call the rope ceremony. And this we got from a movie. I forget the name of the movie. But in this film, prisoners were usually put in a dungeon, at the bottom of a dungeon. And there was a rope that was dangled from the very top of the dungeon. And the thing was, the prison law was this: if you managed to climb up to the top of the rope, you were free to go. The thing is, no one had ever been able to accomplish this. So every time somebody tried to climb, they would like secure themselves. And then every time they tried to climb, they would fall off before they reached the very top. This was like miles and miles and miles high. And so there was a legend that once upon a time, there was one guy who did it. He managed to climb to the very top and he did it. And somewhere near the middle of the movie, the star asks, how did this guy climb out of how did he manage to do it? And the guy who'd been there the longest time said he refused to use the rope, the safety harness. He said he cut off the safety harness and he just climbed with his hands all the way to the top. So my sister and I call it the rope ceremony. The rope is meant to be the thing that keeps you safe, that keeps you where you are, that keeps you stable, you know, your comfort zone. And we say, like, the only way for you to climb out of your own dungeon is to get rid of the comfort zone, which means you cut the rope. And when you're cutting the rope and you're climbing on this cliff, it's do or die. Like, there is no option B. If you fall off and you land on the ground, there is no rope to hold you. You're going to die, right? And for us, we say we cut the rope because that means when you make a decision, you're going to do it. If I decide that I'm going to be a better friend, I'm going to do it. If I decide that Life with Mona is going to be the most successful show, I'm going to do it. I've cut the rope. And the rope is what? Our fears, the things that hold us back, our habits, our friends. You know, there are some things that you need to cut from your life for you to get to the top of that dungeon. So we do a fire ceremony and then we cut the rope. Of all the things that will hold us back, we cut that rope. So as you go into your new year celebrations, preferably before the party, right? Preferably before we go and jump around and see fireworks, do your ceremony. It can be both the fire ceremony or the rope ceremony, where you write everything that's holding you back and you cut that rope so that you can get to where you want to be. Or you can choose one or the other, whichever one works for you. And leave the things of 2018 in 2018. The poor choices that you made, accept them, so that when 2019 comes, you can make better ones. The good choices that you made, celebrate them and choose to reinforce them in 2019 when you're a better person than you were in 2018. And after we've done that, have faith. Have faith that if you are operating at 50% in 2018, in 2019, you're going to operate at 70%, and make that choice, make that deliberate choice. Here is how I'm going to improve my performance this coming year. And I think it's been a good one. It's been rough in parts, I won't lie, but ultimately it's been a good one. And I do hope it's been a good one for you as well. And as we say goodbye to 2018, I would like to salute all the people who've been in my life, who've helped me get through everything I've gotten through. You know who you are. And I would like to salute all the people who have lifted me up in my career, you know, lifted me up in the things that I've wanted to do. I'd like to salute them. And you know who you are. And for all the other difficult things that have been there and all the other things that I wish had gone differently, I choose in this moment to accept that those things needed to happen for me to get where I am today. So I choose to forgive, and I choose to embrace, and I choose to love. And I hope for you, as you reflect on your 2018, that you too will choose to celebrate the people in your life, will choose to celebrate the good things that happened, and will choose to embrace and forgive and to love the people who you need to celebrate and forgive and love. Thank you guys so, so much for being with me in 2018. And I know we'll see you on the other side. Be safe. Have a happy, happy crossing. Enjoy yourselves. Laugh a lot. Love a lot. Celebrate, party, do everything. Just be happy that we've made it this far. I wish you a happy, happy, happy new year. All my love, all my respect, all my light. Mwah, mwah, mwah.